This is a video made to show the effects of modifying the magazine on the M&P series pistols for those of you who have a 10-round magazine if you live in a state that has a silly magazine limit like California. First, let's show that the firearm is clear. Alright. So, for those of you that have the 10-round magazines, you probably know how hard they are to load and to put into the firearm. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what I have here. This is a modified magazine by me. This is an unmodified magazine. Yes, this is live ammo. I don't have 20 snap caps lying around, and the firearm is pointed in a safe direction, so don't go crazy. Let's put it into the firearm, and you guys can see how hard it is to put it in there. It doesn't quite go in with 10 rounds unless you really give it a hard smack, and I mean, you really gotta smack it hard to get it in there. There you go. So most guns, just that is enough to seat the magazine. In the M&P, it's not. It's not the gun's fault, it's the magazine's fault. So a lot of times you end up with something like this, and it can come out, which is not something you want to happen if you ever need to use it. This is a magazine that I modified. Again, same 10 rounds. Watch how easy this goes in. Boom. So let's take this unmodified one. I'm going to put it like that. Watch how hard I have to press to get this thing in. I use like 80% of my strength to get in there. And the modified one goes in very easily. So basically how I did this was I cut half a coil or half a coil out of the spring, because I find the springs are very, very tight. As a matter of fact, both of these magazines have been kept loaded and used for about a year, so they're very well broken in, and they still, as you saw, the unmodified one still was very hard to put into the firearm. It's even harder when it's new. So they do get a little bit better when you break them in, but like I said, it's already been broken in, still had a problem. So I cut half a coil out of the spring and I modified the follower. I'll go ahead and show you guys how to make the modifications that I made. So I'll go ahead and you want to take your takedown tool out. Set these aside. And let's take this magazine, which has not been modified, and let's go ahead and modify it. So first thing you're going to want to do is take your takedown tool, stick it in the mag, compress the spring, pull forward, like so, and take the follower and spring out. So you see the follower here, the spring, and a little plate there on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this off of the bottom, like that, which comes off. And we'll go ahead and take the follower off. All you need for this is 2 Leatherman or pliers. Some people use a dremel. So pull that out like so. So now we have just the spring. So on the bottom of the spring, we're going to go ahead and take out about one coil. So you see where that goes down, I'm going to cut it right there. Alright, and I'll have to replicate this on this end. You probably don't have to do this, but I'm kind of anal, so I like to make everything look like it was before. So you're going to need to flatten it so that it's on level like that. And then we're gonna curl it in like that. Just like that, so it closely replicates what we cut off. Now, let's go to the follower. So, the problem is the old followers, the old magazines that had the old style followers, they didn't really have this problem. The new magazines do, because the follower is a little bit longer. So, a lot of people will cut off material off the back and the front. I found that you don't gain too much by cutting off of the front, since the front's already pretty short, and you don't want to cut off too much because you'll get follower tilt. So I cut off some off the back so it's level with that piece right there. So you can use a Dremel, but I have a very sharp knife on my Leatherman. I'll try to get this on camera as I'm doing this. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm cutting off the material. I'd say that's pretty good. I don't want to take off too much. Probably take off maybe a little bit too much, but that's fine. So now we're going to go ahead and reassemble. Spring has to line up in that little hole there, and put the base plate back on. Alright, and now slide it back up into the magazine tube, compress all this down. Hopefully it doesn't go flying and hit me. You gotta be careful. Alright, you'll hear it snap. You gotta make sure you push on this to make sure it's snapped together. So now let's go ahead and load it back up. And you can see the huge difference. Loading it's a little easier. I can already tell. 8, 9, and 10. Alright. So again, check the firearm, make sure it's clear, pointing in the safe direction, and let's see if it worked. Yep. Goes in pretty easily. Let's compare both. They're both about the same. So, some people just cut the spring out, cut a coil out. Some people just modify the follower. I find that doing just the follower makes a significant difference, but taking half a coil out also makes a pretty big difference. So I did both. I haven't functioned checked this, but honestly the magazines are so stiff already that you shouldn't have a problem taking out half a coil. I don't see that being a problem at all, because like I said, they're already so stiff. So try it out. I know a lot of people only carry 9 rounds in their magazines because it's so hard to get that magazine in there. So now, I used to be one of those people only carrying 9 rounds, so now I'm definitely going to start carrying 10 rounds. And it should make shooting the gun a lot more enjoyable and also make it a lot safer. Thanks for